Now, a lot of times when I do my toe side back 180, what I'll do is before I get to the wake, I actually let my hips drift away, not by bending over, but just by kind of squatting, and my hips are gonna drift away. That allows me to get my handle really pulled in, nice and strong off the top of the wake, and that's going to initiate a little bit of the beginning of the spin. So as you cut in, think about letting the handle drift away, keep your chest up, and then as you come off the top of the wake, then you can get your hips in as you pull the handle to your hips. That's really gonna help you get the handle. Real important on this one is you don't wanna take a super hard cut, because getting the handle early as you come off the top of the wake into that handle pass is gonna be really important. So if you start really wide, that makes the handle pull really hard against you. So let's take just a nice, easy wake-to-wake approach of this at first. When you're doing the toe back 180, what you're gonna think about is getting a good toe side wake jump and keeping that handle pushed down to the back of your front hip. What that's gonna do, that's gonna allow you to really get your body turning away from the boat as soon as you come off the top of the wake. The way you turn your body away from the boat off the top, two things. One, by pushing that handle down, also where you look. So think about taking your chin, either sticking it to that back shoulder. Sometimes I'll actually just look down at the wake that's trailing behind of where I'm jumping off of. And that allows me to get spinning as soon as my tail leaves the top of the wake. So push that handle down, look away from the boat, and think about keeping that handle in tight. If you let go with your back hand too soon before you get to the top of the wake, the handle's gonna pull away from you. Then when you hit the wake, it's going to yank even farther and make it even harder to get the handle into you. So really think about keeping that handle in tight, two hands to the top of the wake. Once you start your spin, take your back hand off the handle only for a split second, and you're gonna reach quickly around for the handle, okay? Once you get the handle, you're pretty much done with the trick. You've done the hard part. Now it's just coming around, you're doing just a 180. So you know how to land switch, you're just getting there in a different direction. So from that point, you've got it. That was awesome. You had a very nice takeoff off the wake, but you notice how when you landed, you were leaning really far back on that landing? That's because as you took off the wake, you were leaning really far forward. You weren't over the top of the board by standing up. You were kind of bent over. So by the time you had finished, you were still leaning really far away. I do the same thing sometimes. So you gotta make sure that as you come off the top of the wake, you're really just standing up nice and tall, and that's gonna put you in a better position for that landing. Okay, that one you actually went kind of opposite. You were landing on your toes as you finished that. So that means as you came off the top of the wake, you were leaving off the wake on your heels. So make sure, once again, that you're not leaving the wake too soon, thinking about this trick too hard. I want you to really concentrate on taking off the top of the wake and really stand up nice and tall. Don't break at the waist, and especially don't take off the wake on your heels. Otherwise, if you take off the wake on your heels, once again, you're gonna land on your toes, and you don't wanna do that again because it gets all that water shoved up your nose, and then you sound like me half the time.
Hey Shaun, please teach me some handle passes.
Before you get out on the water, I wanna show you something just real quick to make your handle passes not necessarily easier, but just you'll be a little bit more conscious of where the handle is behind your back. And what I'm talking about is there's different ways to pass the handle behind your back. You can either do what I call both palms up, like this, or you can do what it seems more like clapping your hands behind your back, and that's palm to palm. Now for different tricks, I pass differently, but as long as you're thinking of one way, you're more likely to actually pass the handle. Now I find that if you're passing palm to palm, if you start with your hands close together like this, it makes it easier because the pull comes more direct as opposed to if you're on the end of it. So keep your hand, if you're going for, say, you're getting ready to do your first backside 180, you can either go palm to palm, so all you gotta think about is just hitting your hands together and the handle's gonna be right there. Or if you want, you can go like this and then it gets turned over and then you can grab it like this. There's no right or wrong, honestly. It's just whatever feels good to you. So just so you're conscious, if you're ever having trouble with the handle pass, think of one way or the other. It'll help you out.